We now turn our focus on the business of tourism as the country plays host to the G20 meetings, an event that brings together global leaders to discuss economic cooperation, development and sustainable practices. Now, to delve deep into the implications of these gatherings for our tourism sector, we are joined by Thembi Sehloho, Chief Marketing Officer for South African Tourism. Thembi, appreciate your time this afternoon. Can you walk us through the significance of hosting the G20 meetings for South Africa and what it means to the tourism industry?
Thank you for your time, and absolutely right. Huge significance of G20 coming to our country, not only for South Africa, but for Africa as a whole. Whilst this is a trade political event, it's quite important for tourism because the delegates that come here are going to have to experience our infrastructure from a tourism perspective, accommodation, how we host meetings, and they'll be able to experience the culture of our people. They'll experience the country as a whole. So it has a huge impact on tourism. Whilst it's really a business event, but at the end of the day, what people really interact with when they get here is the tourism segment. So from an economic impact tourism, it's very, very important to us.
So let's talk about some of the strategies that you'll be implementing to make this process more attractive, or tourism more attractive to the various stakeholders that will be coming through.
So at the moment, I'm at the Sandton Convention Center. As you know, we're hosting Meetings Africa from the 24th, which is tomorrow, to the 26th of February, which is really a meetings event about, really connecting buyers and exhibitors in the tourism space. So this is one event that is a showcase for us, obviously, in terms of showing off what tourism products we have. I mean, in this event alone, we've got 27 countries participating. So it's not the G20 summit in itself, but it is kind of, it is the platform that shows off the space of business tourism. So we've got 27 countries participating in the event, which starts tomorrow. We literally sold out on space, and most importantly, we've got like more than 400 exhibitors, which is way above what we had last year. And we have 313 SMMEs because, again, events like this allows us to give access to people who can't have access to platforms like this to sell their businesses and showcase themselves to international buyers. I mean, we've got over 327 international buyers coming to see the product that's going to be on display. And the product's not only South African products, but it's also African products. So in the spirit of progressing this space for not just South Africa, but for Africa as a whole. And we're taking a huge opportunity, obviously, from a G20 perspective. We've just hosted the Foreign Minister Summit successfully. So all of these events and all of these meetings that are going to be happening. So for people who are not aware, I mean, G20 happens in November. However, there's many meetings that happens in the build up to November. And those for us are the opportunities to ensure that where the meetings are happening, they're happening across the country, so that it's not just the big cities that are getting the opportunity to be showcased and be seen by the international audience. And also in those spaces, we get small businesses involved and, in accommodation, in restaurants, in excursions to show the delegates what we have to offer as a country. So a huge economic impact from really big businesses to really small businesses as we go into the space.
Now, Thembi, sustainability is quite a hot topic at international events. What initiatives is South Africa taking to promote sustainable tourism during these gatherings?
So it's quite important for us. I mean, if you look on our website, you'll see that we are promoting a lot of sustainable products. So part of G20 is really about, promoting graded properties and promoting sustainable products. And even at a show like this, we do encourage, sustainably, running a show like this. So we partner with organizations that are driving that space to ensure that, for example, I mean, it's a silly example, how we use a recyclable product to do a stand, because you do know there'll be a lot of stands going up with the number of exhibitors that we have. But sustainability is at the core of it from a business event perspective, how we actually put up the infrastructure for this shows that's sustainable and how we put down infrastructure that's going to be reusable in the space. But again, from a sustainable tourism perspective, as we drive, our rural township tourism and really getting people to truly understand the length and breadth of South Africa, we are showcasing really sustainable products within that space and ensuring that those products are the forefront of showing how tourism is going to look like in the future. So really building towards the tourism sector that we want to see from a sustainability perspective.
Well, I like the issue that you raised, that of building. Now, what long-term benefits do you foresee for South Africa as a result of hosting the G20 and the Meetings Africa trade show, which starts tomorrow?
I think, as we all know, people have preconceived ideas of any country before they come to the country. So, what we're hoping that these events are going to leave behind for us is an opportunity for people to come and experience this beautiful country that we live in. I think when delegates come here, they see the amazing world-class infrastructure that we have, which is pre-assumed that we don't have it, and they get to experience our tourism, our hospitality industry, which is, with our people who are warm, friendly, and and experience our culture. So we hope that when they come in, we always say people come in for business and want them to stay for tourism. So this events are giving us the opportunity to showcase all of that. So it's not just about business; it's about leisure tourism as well, so that they get to see and experience, and they can talk to things that they have seen and experienced. I mean, it is, we know we've got world-class infrastructure, we've got beautiful hospitality industry, our restaurants compete with world-class restaurants in the world. So when these delegates come here, they get to see all of that and they take it back with them. And we literally target them from a marketing perspective that in the next 3 months, they come back with their family to actually have a full-on holiday in South Africa, because we are chasing a number of visitors by 2030 of 15 million visitors coming to South Africa. So these platforms are key marketing platform for us to ensure that we meet those objectives and deliver against the strategy for tourism.
So 90-day turnaround, I think, is absolutely incredible for these visits to come back. I'd imagine that you've received much feedback from the international delegates and regarding the experience in South Africa. And how will this information shape future event hosting, or certainly the conversations that you're having with some of the various exhibitors and players in the tourism sector?
So I think every opportunity that we get is really a data collection opportunity. So we take the data that we get from our delegates that come in now, and we convert that into marketing. So we either package things differently, we'll target marketing to the things that they are saying that they were wishing to see, maybe they did not see. And what they've seen, we obviously put it at the forefront of what they do. So conversion is quite key. So it is about, as we don't have many dollars to do marketing. So an opportunity like this allows us to say, what we're marketing, are we doing the right things? If we have to change strategies, we are able to use the data to be able to change strategies and become a little bit more targeted, and personalize the experiences for the delegates that are going to come. So personalization is quite important in this industry to ensure that we understand the delegates so that we can match them with the right products and the experiences that they want to see. So it's a huge research platform in my view, where we collect raw data about what we're doing and what we can do better. So quite important.
Final question, and this is obviously on behalf of those marketing spots, if you will, or tourism spots in the country where the various delegates that are coming through don't experience. So how then do you on-sell some destinations that they haven't necessarily experienced? So for instance, when they come out to Johannesburg for a number of meetings, and you expose them, you take them on a tour of Soweto, for instance, or some of the other eating spots. Yes. But I'd imagine that you also use the opportunity to sell what's happening in what's available in KZN, what's available in Limpopo, and what's available across the length and breadth of the country.
Yeah. So, like I said, so there is a lot of meetings, and what Delco has done quite strategically is that those meetings had to be spread across the country to allow us to drive the geographical spread. So, for example, the tourism meeting will be in Mpumalanga. We have meetings in most of the provinces in the country, so that we allow those delegates to be able to experience not just Cape Town and Johannesburg. And you are right, when they're in Joburg, yes, we make sure that they experience our township tourism, because it's quite big in South Africa. When they're in Mpumalanga, we make sure that they experience a bit of rural tourism as well, and a little bit of township tourism in Mpumalanga. But the meetings are highly spread, and as a tourism department, we are ensuring that we are fully engaged in those meetings and ensuring that in that spread, we are driving the tourism agenda as the guys are meeting in the different provinces. So I think Northern Cape will be experiencing it. It is really spread across the country, because we have so much to offer. And when we do that correctly, again, what it helps us with is that people then don't just come to South Africa just to see Cape Town or Durban or Joburg. They understand that there's so much more to see in this country. So you can come here and stay for a month and experience all our 9 provinces. And the great thing is that we actually have all 9 provinces exhibited at Meetings Africa. So those buyers also even get to see our 9 provinces and get to experience product and hope, and with obviously the hope that we close the deal and we get visits being done to the different provinces. Geographical spread is a key strategic imperative for us. We can no longer do tourism just in Joburg, Cape Town, and Durban. There's Northern Cape, there's Eastern Cape, there's lots lots of other provinces. They, even when you go to Limpopo, there's Guyane, there's so many other areas within our provinces that need to be explored from a tourism perspective.
Fantastic. Thembi, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Thembi Sehloho, Chief Marketing Officer for South African Tourism, speaking to us ahead of November's G20 summit, but a series of meetings that are taking place before then, allowing for the various delegates that are coming through to be exposed to all that South Africa has to offer as far as tourism is concerned.